right, thank you very much. Hi, everybody. Don Angus. Really happy that you're here. I appreciate your time. What we're going to do is we're going to be discussing paging and communication, helping to keep everyone safe in a facility. I know that this is something that is of great concern for some. What I'm hoping is that those folks who are joining us today, maybe if you're in sales, this will be of interest. You'll see some points that I'm going to make here that you can then relay to your customers to help them to appreciate the importance of a good paging system. If you're in charge of a facility, maybe this might raise some questions for your facility and get you to thinking about it. And certainly we can help you design a system that's right for you. Importance of facility audio. So of course, communication, that's what it's all about. And many people don't necessarily appreciate the importance of this. Certainly you can use paging as a tool for safety, instruction, to keep your staff informed and included in everything that's going on during the day. If it's a retail space, maybe communicating with customers about what's happening in different parts of the store, what kind of specials, that type of thing. But you know, every facility isn't the same. There are different sizes, broken up in different ways. There are different requirements. Maybe you're wanting to address the outdoor campus as well as everywhere inside. Employees are all over the facility. Many times I've gone to different facilities, large manufacturing facilities. Boy, employees are just spread out all over the place, squirreled away in all sorts of different spaces and rooms, doing their work. Maybe they are isolated because there's noise, ambient noise in the area that's drowning out any potential announcements. Plus, if the facility is a 24-hour operation, different people could be in different spaces. So it's something that a facility manager really has to consider when we're looking at safety. So what do you really want with a system? Well, you want to, of course, be effective, be able to communicate with your staff. And when you communicate, obviously you want everything that's announced to be understood. Intelligibility is really key for this, and you want to make sure that the entire facility is covered. Doing so makes everybody more efficient, makes whatever you happen to be working on move more smoothly, and it can be more effective for everyone. Perhaps most paging doesn't need to be done in a certain area. Well, we can certainly put together something where one zone can be paged, but not paging other areas and distracting other employees. Did you want to perhaps have a team meeting on the factory floor and you want to do it quickly and efficiently? Paging system's the way to go. And certainly with emergencies and the way things are, we would want to be able to reach out to our staff and communicate with them so that if they need to evacuate or if they need to stay put, we can tell them that quickly and efficiently. And we can, of course, integrate the existing fire alarm and strobe systems that you may have in place. We can put those all together so it all works as one unit, which is makes things even more efficient and communication much easier. When you're thinking about paging as well, you want to think about how you want to communicate with someone, with your team. Is it just one-way announcements? Do you want to hear a reply from certain areas of the facility? We can certainly incorporate that in the paging systems that we design. Do we need quick messages to all parts of the facility or just a specific area? Managing people in different locations. We can take care of all sorts of different sizes of facilities to make it all work very well. Why do we need paging solutions? What does it accomplish? Certainly, it reassures the staff knowing that they will be alerted if something does come up, and that their jobs will be made easier if you have one in place. You know, if when we do it, we want to make sure that everywhere is covered. It doesn't make sense to have a paging system where certain wings of a building are not covered properly and people can't understand what's being said. So we would certainly make sure that that is covered. Muting priorities. If a certain emergency message has to come through, but there's just an everyday message that's happening, that message can be muted because the priority emergency message is coming through. And we can integrate with, as I mentioned, existing networks so that it can all work as one. So communications during regular activities, critical messages, areas that only need announcements can be built that way. We can certainly build a system to operate in that way. And we can make sure that the staff has confidence in what's being installed. So I have a few solutions that we've worked on in the past that might help you envision what you're possibly working on right now or what is possible with TOA. We're really happy to be working with Metro, and they really like our equipment and have been using it in more than one distribution center. They've really wanted to update their paging systems and to be able to improve intelligibility throughout. As you can imagine, in a huge distribution center, there are all sorts of different areas, and they all have different requirements. Not only quiet office spaces, but also with grocery, of course, there's refrigerated areas, and those units aren't quiet. They create quite a bit of noise while they're in operation, and that can make communicating with people who work in those environments really difficult, as well as just vast storage spaces, being able to reach out to people there as well. So there was a lot of different areas that we had to take into consideration. We went into the facilities, took measurements, listened to recorded ambient noise, got levels to understand exactly what they were contending with. And we put together a system that was really effective and really overcame all of the situations that they were facing. We had at the top there is our 9,000 matrix mixer, which is the head end, utilizing it to send announcements to different zones, as well as utilizing the DSP built in to make that as effective as possible. The EV700 digital announcer, they needed cones to signify different break times and lunch breaks and so forth. So they needed that, as well as some automated announcements. So the EV700 was great for that. It has lots of different contact inputs and outputs where you're able to trigger messages by just a timer or with different buttons or signals. It's just an excellent piece to use for that type of requirement. And then the real key, the product that really won this job for us was the HA1010 slim array speaker. This is a horn array that we use to cut right through all that ambient noise and to be able to make the announcements heard throughout these massive warehouses. The HA1010 has the beam that it puts out gives you great control over the vertical. It covers from left to right really nicely, but it's that narrow vertical beam that helps throw it such long distances and have intelligible audio throughout these massive warehouses. So that was really the big winner for us in this project for sure. We do other different commercial spaces that are unique. One is a fire hall. Recently, we've had a few fire halls come up, and this particular one was interesting because they wanted to have a obviously an intelligible announcement system installed, but there were also some different requirements. For instance, unique tones to be broadcast for different entrances into the building for security reasons, to tie in their radio, their radios, so that they could be played over the PA system. Um, Tackle any ambient noise issues, certainly in the equipment bay when they're working on the trucks. That can be a very loud place, and we wouldn't want those people to miss out on any announcements. So it was an interesting project, and we were able to accomplish what they needed through all this equipment that you see here. We were using our IPA1 equipment so that by way of their SIP system, they could page. We tied that in with the SIP intercom system, the NSP80s that were at each door station, or pardon me, each entrance. And then they had unique chimes when someone pressed the button to let them know that they were there. Unique chimes were played throughout the hall. The master station allows for to see who's at the door. As I mentioned, that base station radio output that they needed to hear, we just plugged that right into the paging gateway, the IPA1 PG, through the analog input. So whenever there was a call through their radio system, they could hear it over the PA system. Plus, we used our TOA alert equipment as well, not just for having a visual indication that there was something going on, but also utilizing the GUI, the TOA alert GUI, to trigger different emergency tones through the PA system as well. It's a cloud-based system, TOA alert, and you're able to sign into the portal from any PC. So it's very easy to use, and it was a big help for us putting this system together. There's also, you can see that ambient noise sensing microphone. We use that with the 9000 mixer, so that if the noise in the equipment bay got too high, that the volume for the announcement would automatically override and overcome any ambient noise that was in there, so it was loud enough for everybody to hear. If you're looking specifically at emergency announcements and safety, we can certainly help you with that. If you're wanting an enhanced paging system to ensure the safety for everyone, we can certainly help you by way of our VM3000 system. It's ideal for larger facilities, larger buildings, campuses, that can help various speaker zones. There's all sorts of different speaker zones in places like that, and we have the equipment to help with that. One installation in particular was the city of Oshawa. The city was looking for a reliable emergency evacuation system, wanted to be able to reach everyone in the building, including those visitors who might be at the city hall. They wanted to just modernize everything and improve their paging. So we were able to do that. Some of the challenges, they wanted to meet ULC codes. So we have the equipment to do that. And they wanted to make sure that there was communication both inside and out. So we put this system together. This is the VM3000 equipment. We used one of the VM 3240 VA, which is the box at the top with the fireman's mic on the front, and then 9 extension boxes. So that provided the city hall with up to 60 zones and 2,400 watts of power. We could provide a built-in digital message repeater with this system. The speaker lines were monitored so that we could always ensure that everyone in the building is hearing the message, and backup power as well. So if they did lose power, there was enough power and the appropriate amount of power, excuse me, to continue paging throughout the space. Not only did the City Hall building have this, but there's also an arts center on site, and they had their own smaller version of this. And this equipment meets ULCS 576. So when the local fire department inspected it, it passed very easily. Another project where the VM3000 was used is the University of Saskatchewan. The Murray Library had a requirement. They had a north and south wing, 7 floors each, and they had a lot of area to cover, a lot of different rooms to cover. I know that if I was in the U of T, oh, the name escapes me, but the U of T library downtown, we were looking at that. Boy, there's so many different little rooms where people can just close themselves off from everyone and do their studying, and that's effective for studying, but not so great when there's an emergency. So all sorts of different rooms that needed to be covered. It was a really antiquated system. I'm told that when they wanted to notify people that they were closing, somebody actually had to physically walk from floor to floor to let hey, we're closing. So, it was not the best. And you can imagine how terrible that would be if an actual emergency happened. That would be really tough. So we got to work on that and suggested our VM3000 system in here as well, centrally located. And we used a number of different extension amplifiers, the remote mic. They wanted to page with a mic. We also had a timer included so that we could let everybody know when it's time to close and then get out, take your books and go. But as you can see, the last sentence there was what we really were proud of. Evacuation times were cut in half after tests were performed with our system. So that's something that we took a lot of pride in, for sure. As you can imagine, and you've all experienced it when you go into a library, because of all the paper, all the books, all the shelves and shelves of books, it gets really very, very quiet. Sound is absorbed. You don't really hear things like not too much echoing or people talking too much because the sound is all absorbed by the books. That's really nice. Again, that's really nice for studying and for reading. But when you're trying to actually reach out to people in the room, it's not so great. And so we had to use some special speakers in order to overcome that. The CS154 really did a great job in this regard. You can see it at the end of the aisle there. We were able to use that to great effect, being able to reach out to everybody and make sure that everybody heard about any emergencies or when it was time to close. So we were able to do that. And this is the equipment that we were using. All of these speakers are ULC approved as well. Since we're talking about paging, I wanted to let everybody know, if you didn't know already, that we have our IPA1 paging equipment available for use. If you have a facility manager who's very interested in doing a full IP paging system, we have the equipment to achieve that. We can do full IP, or we can do a hybrid of that. Maybe the message starts with IP and then is broadcast by way of 70 volt amps and speakers. That's something we can do as well. The IPA1 communicates in different ways, which makes it very flexible. It can communicate with SIP via SIP, so it could connect to your local SIP server. It can communicate via ONVIF, which is the audio language for security systems. So if you have a VMS and you can integrate our paging system with that. Of course, the IPA1 also has not only one-way communication, but we also have our bi-directional horn as well. So that's something that's a plus. And it's very flexible, as I said, so we can put together a system that's very unique for your customer. If you are working on something or you're thinking of working on something, please don't hesitate to reach out. We have a sheet that you can see there on the page that you can download, and you can fill out all the information that you have from your customer and email us. Email me or any other regional sales manager across Canada, and we will take that information and put together a list of materials, a list of equipment for you, help you understand what we're thinking, send you spec sheets and everything else that you need to make a fantastic paging system. So please don't hesitate to reach out with regards to that.